Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me an immense pleasure to welcome you all to this insightful masterclass, AI in Action, Transforming Systematic Literature Review from Search to Synthesis. On behalf of AMA, I extend a warm welcome to our esteemed speakers, faculty members and researchers, students and all attendees present today. We are gathered here to explore the exciting intersection of AI and academic research, particularly focusing on how AI is revolutionizing literature reviews, a core component of scholarly work. We are privileged to have with us two exceptional experts who brings a wealth of knowledge from both academia and industry. Dr. Jasmin Padiya, Associate Professor of GLS University and accredited management teacher with over 2 decades of academic experience and several publications to his name. Dr. Jignyasa Gandhi, Director of Codling Tech Webshop LLP, an accomplished researcher in AI with specialized work in medical image processing and authorship of the notable book Elevate Your Literature Review. We are truly honored to host such distinguished speakers. Before we begin, let me introduce our faculty members. The first faculty is Dr. Jasmin Padiya. Dr. Jasmin Padiya is an associate professor at the Faculty of Management, GLS University. Dr. Padiya is an accredited management teacher by All India Management Association. He is an alumnus of IIM Ahmedabad FDB program. He holds a PhD in marketing and has a perfect blend of industry and academia experience. He holds 5 years of pharmaceutical industry experience in areas of sales and marketing. He is having more than 20 years of experience into academics with teaching interest in the areas of sales and distribution management, service marketing and digital marketing among other marketing subjects. He is a fervent reader and contributes to national and international journals at regular intervals and presented and published more than 60 research papers and 6 books in the management area. Under his mentorship, 8 doctoral scholars have been awarded their doctoral degree. Thank you, Dr. Jasmin Padiya, for visiting AMA. Yeah, thank you. Our second guest is Dr. Jignyasa Gandhi. Dr. Gandhi is a seasoned academician, researcher, and author with 15 years of experience in computer science and engineering. Holding a PhD from VNIT Nagpur, her research specializes in medical image processing, deep learning, and artificial intelligence, with a focus on diagnostic framework for glaucoma detection. She has served in leadership and faculty roles at premier institutions and is currently the director of Codling Tech Webshop LLP. A prolific author, she has published extensively in reputed journals and authored the book Elevate Your Literature Review, reflecting her commitment to academic excellence and innovation in research. Ma'am, thank you so much for visiting AMA. Thank you, and let us now proceed with the first talk of the evening. I would like to invite Dr. Jasmin Padiya at the show. Yeah. So before beginning Dr. Jasmin Padiya's talk, let me felicitate to him. And also to Dr. Jignyasa Gandhi. So now stage to Dr. Jasmin Padiya.
यही है ना आपके Good evening, everyone who is present here, fellow academicians, research scholars, students, and the dignitaries from Ahmedabad Management Association, and my fellow speaker today, Dr. Jignyasa Gandhi. It's indeed my pleasure to be here at the platform of Ahmedabad Management Association, and I extend my thank you to the Deepak Bhatt and the entire management of AMA for inviting me to share my insights on the use of AI in literature review. Right. So before we start, Let me ask one question, that how many of you are into research? Can you raise your hand? Of course, all of us are in research. That's why we are here, right? Okay, now my second question is that how many of you have you used some or the other type of AI for the research? Wonderful. And how many of you have done systematic literature review? Okay. So we'll combine all these three together, right? I'll be covering a little part of the AI. My fellow speaker will cover more about systematic literature review. And I have a disclaimer that I am a management faculty, so my research example and research will be biased towards management education. You may be pursuing research in basic science, humanities, or other subject, but you can draw the parallels from what I have learned in my little experience and how I am using AI, right? Second disclaimer is that it's being a limited time period, will not be, doing hands-on exercise on using AI, but I'll be making you familiar with different tools of AI, which later on you can use, or during question answer we can discuss, and off the session also we can discuss and interact about the tool which can be useful to you. So before 20 days, I got invite to deliver a session. So I said, okay, I'll deliver a session. But the first thing I have started is doing research. Like what I should talk to my target audience. What are the new tools, right? And the new tools are being added day after another day. Like if I can draw three parallel timelines. When I completed my PhD in 2012, we used to do search on Google. Google Scholar was there, and we'll do the literature review from Google Scholar. We'll download a lot of research paper. I'll subscribe to IIM Ahmedabad library. I'll go there. We'll download plenty of paper, and then we'll come back, read those paper, and we'll do the literature review. That was era one. Era two. But era one was that before my research, my PhD guide used to go to the different libraries. We'll jot down from different journals, and we'll be doing the literature review. So my task was very easy, and my guide used to tell me that your task is very easy. I used to spend 24 hours in library, and I used to get my research done. But now I envy my research scholars, because at the tip of one keyboard, you can have plenty of research. Now you have a tool that wherein you can upload 500 research paper, and it will give you summary, right? But then there is another challenge. When you have information highway, like in my era, there was a scarcity of information, and now we need to deal with the information highway. So again, synthesis is very, very important. So our journey today will be from search to synthesis. That is what we are going to talk today. So before I start, let me start with a small story about researchers. Like you might be also doing a lot of discussion with your fellow researcher colleague. So you will find there are two types of researchers everywhere. I have also experienced the same. So there is a story goes like this. There was one misprecision, and there was one misintuition. They were both doing PhD research, and for our simplicity, let us consider that both were doing the research on similar kind of topic. Like, so they started a journey, and the PhD journey or literature is you start with problem identification, research gap, literature review, right? So they started conduct a literature review on AI in supply chain resilience. That was a topic for them. Thank you. So Miss Intuition, true to her name, relied on experience, gut feel. She schemed abstracts, bookmarked papers that felt relevant, and followed citation trails like breadcrumbs. She worked late nights and fueled by coffee and academic instinct. So she worked on her intuition, downloaded a lot of research paper based on her prior experience of industry and relevance. She started her journey. On the other hand, Miss Precision took another route. She trained an AI tool. The name of the tool here is consensus. Some of you might have used it. Consensus to learn that relevance meant what relevance meant to our research. So she trained the research AI that these are the keywords. I am doing literature on the supply chain resilience. What I mean by supply chain, in which industry I am referring to supply chain. It has trained the model. And she uploaded around 300 papers and watched the machine prioritize the rest. She visualized research cluster using lit maps. There is another tool to visualize your research and literature review, lit maps. We'll be also talking about that. And generated insights using Elicit, that is another software, and let AI organize the chaos. So her literature review and synthesis was using AI tool. Now it's time for D-Day. They both went to meet their research supervisor after certain weeks. So Miss Institution's work was rich but scattered, insightful yet lacking coherence. But Miss Precision's review was sharp, evidence-based, and surprisingly deep. The panel praised her ability to see the forest and the trees. I mean, she could analyze the macro as well as micro factor both. So both met after the research review met over a cup of coffee. So Miss Intuition said to the Miss Precision that I think I need to meet your co-author, because she was not surprised that how she could have done this wonderful job of literature review, analyzed very well, right? She thought that she must be taking help of someone who is a professional to write her thesis. So, but the Miss Precision answered that you already know him. He is artificial but intelligent. So she was taking help of the artificial intelligence. But these two researchers depicts two different research persona, right? And I'm sure many of you will identify with Miss Intuition. Some of you will identify with Miss Precision. Yes? So how many of you identify with Miss Intuition, that your research is based on intuition, your ideas? Okay, one. Others? Very good. And Miss Precision, how many of you? Okay. And there are people like me will be, raising hand for both, because you say that, okay, I start with my intuition, and then I rely on precision, right? So research is a kind of blend, right? Because it's our human mind which is going to give command to the AI based on your curiosity, your creativity of command. AI, it will guide you further in research. So in our synthesis, we will also deal with that, how to combine this precisionness of AI and intuitiveness nature of our human being. So that is the agenda for the day. So this is our agenda for the day. Like, we'll start with what is traditional SLR process. I'll not deal much with that SLR process, but as you all know that it starts with planning, then we have search, screening, data extraction, then synthesis. Then we'll be dealing with AI tools like consensus, Elicit, Litmap, Site, to mention a few. And we'll also discuss little bit about ethical aspects of AI in research, right? So what is systematic literature review and how it differs from literature review? So I'll just not go into the definition of it, but just assuming that there are some audience who is novice to the literature review, so I'll just brief shortly. So we start with a methodological reproducible process to identify, evaluate, and synthesize relevant literature. The key word here is reproducible. It means we do the process for another topic, we can follow the same process for our research. That is why it is called systematic literature review. So this is traditional way we do with planning. Like the way I have conducted my PhD research is define research question, then use databases like Scopus, Web of Science, Google Scholars, EBSCO. These all kind of database we have subscribed to, like at different research institutes. Then we do the screening based on the title, keyword in the research, full text PDF is available or not. Then we do the data extraction, We learn some methodology. Sometimes we as a researcher identify a paper which we call anchor paper. So we refer to that anchor paper, follow for that methodology that can be useful for our study. Then we do the synthesis of whatever literature we are doing. But limitation of traditional SLR is it's time intensive, prone to bias. If you ask anyone researcher, you can read maximum 3 research paper in a day to analyze research paper and make your own summary. Right? So imagine 300 research paper, because PhD supervisor are always giving tasks. Okay, go and read 150 papers, come back. Then after you go there, they will say that 70 papers are not relevant. Right? So that is the journey. So then it is prone to bias, human bias. Like I say, for example, I am having background in healthcare industry. My research will be more biased towards healthcare, or based on my prior experience. It is cumbersome and limited scalability in terms of extrapolation of research. So now where AI steps in. So it starts with machine learning. Prioritize relevant articles. We have 300 articles, but now you can prioritize relevant article based on the keyword, based on the citation, based on the relevance, based on the newness of the article. Then we can have a natural language programming, extracts key entities and patterns. In another important part of research is we need to identify key variables. Right? So based on the past research, we can identify the variables, define those variables, and using generative AI, we can assist in summarizing and drafting thematic structure. Now, thematic structure can be in terms of literature review, or thematic structure in terms of combining many research paper, identifying particular theme across different research papers. And then benefit of AI is it will increase our speed. You can scale your research and support the synergy. So there are different tools which are available, like Consensus, Elicit, Perplexity, Site, Research Rabbit, Chat PDF. And once I was doing that, I again come across another platform called Research Chat. Again, like Chat GPT, Research GPT is also available. So there are so many tools. You can use one or the other tools and then identify which tools is better, but I'll also summarize that which tool is used at which particular stage of your research. Then we have Semantic Scholar, Scholarcy, Zandy, Litmaps, and Paperpal. So I'll also share some of the tools with you and the screenshot of those tools, that how I've used. And for today's discussion, I've taken an example of a topic called digital marketing. So I've run my search queries for digital marketing and how I got result on different AI. So we'll go through that journey. But before that, you have taken the snaps of the earlier tools, but this also, is very useful, that at which particular stage of your research, which tool will be useful to you. Like the first stage we do is literature search. Like in initial days, we used to search on Google, then we moved to this scholar.google.com, but now it will not earn more precise results. So you can refer to this, Elicit or Perplexity, Semantic Scholar, Consensus, and Research Rabbit. Now there are no boundaries, like Research Rabbit can only be used for literature search, because these tools are also updating themselves, because they would also like to cater to the broader audience. So now Research Rabbit can also be useful for the synthesis of research, right? So there may be overlap. But screening and duplication, like deduplication, Ryan, ASR review, and Zotero. Zotero can be also used for the citation. You can add the Zotero extension on your Google Scholar, then whatever you are doing research, just save your articles into Zotero. Then data extraction using ChatGPT. Like ChatGPT is a wonderful tool. Like you can upload 100 papers and you say that, okay, summarize this paper for me. It will summarize paper for you, right? Then Excel. And I was going through recently, like Cloud, a recent Cloud is also, typing on behalf of you on Excel. Like you said that, okay, prepare an equation for compound interest for me in Excel, it will prepare and it will give you Excel file for you, right? Then Napkin AI. Napkin AI will be useful for making your presentations and mapping your literature review. Then voice viewer, bibliometrics, then ChatGPT and cloud for narrative synthesis, and last step is writing your thesis, wherein you can use Paperpal, Grammarly, and Zotero. So like say for example, I've done this search on Elicit. So when I've given search, this is free version which I'm using. So it has given me 4 papers, right? Summary of top 4 papers, which you can see on the first screen. And if you scroll down, you will see all these 4 papers, right? So, and then you can download and access those papers. In right side, the summary of this 4 paper is also available for you, right? So free version has limitation of 4 or 5 research papers when we subscribe, but subscription is not also that costly. So you can try, once you try the free version, and then you can invest in one or the other software which is of your choose. So I've done a lot of research and I've downloaded a lot of papers. Now my hard disk is full, and my friend asked me that what is your research project is all about. So what is required now is mapping those literature, right? Where this literature fits. Because once you go with 100 paper, your guide will say that, okay, write an article based on the bibliometric analysis, how identify segregate the paper based on the key variables. Then you need to segregate. So it will look like this. It will be a mess if you do not use tools like this. So then you can use tool like this consensus that can again useful for the synthesis and search both. I've run the same query here about digital marketing. Then it has given me articles on understanding digital content marketing, digital marketing and social media, why bother, and etc. Then Research Rabbit, again you can use for the same purpose. And Perplexity. Now out of all these tools which I have used, personally I like these tools the most, Perplexity, because you can see that it has given me a table also. Like, so if digital marketing is my broad topic, then your keywords will be like this: search engine optimization, then description of search engine optimization, and on right side you can see the number 3, 6, 4, 7. You can click on that and you can download those papers. Then you have another keyword called search engine marketing, content marketing, social media marketing. So all those relevant keywords it has segregated in a table, and for relevant keywords there are papers which you can refer to develop your tool, identify your variable, to develop your research model, a relation between different variables. So once you have all this, you have done synthesis also, right? Mapping of literature is very, very important, right? So they say that chronology समझिए, right? So a research paper कहाँ से आया and where it is going, like, so you can go to the backward of that. So that tool which is useful to you is that lit maps. Like in service quality, the leading author is called Parshuraman. Parshuraman has done a wonderful job in service quality. Every other scale on service quality is adapted scale of Parshuraman. So he has written a paper in 2014. Now you just write that paper, and now you can go backward and see that what all paper he has referred and how many papers how many has referred Parshuraman scale, right? You click on that particular followed circle and you can get another map. Likewise, you can do that literature mapping journey, right? So synthesis will be easy for you, and adding more number of related literature, right? Because the most of the time researcher will complain to me that, sir, I'm not finding relevant paper in my areas, right? It is very difficult to find. This topic is new, I'm not getting, I am the only one who is doing research in this area, right? So you can identify the relevant keyword and address those keywords. So semantic scholar again can be useful for writing your literature. Uh, and the last part, once you are done with your synthesis, is how to write, right? So like this, if you look into your desktop or computer, the file will look like this: final draft dot doc, then final draft version 20 in bracket 1 doc x. So in the process, we forget that which was the final file. And many researchers also start, once they submit the thesis, by the time they forget what was my original research problem. Right, how I started, and then during different RDC, they have given me different direction. My research supervisor has taken me to different path, and I ended up doing this thing. But that is the journey. In PhD, what I always say is that what we learn is not the domain knowledge, but the process. Research is always a process driven. It will change your thought process, the way you look at things in the time to come once you have completed your research. So the tool which I refer and use is PaperPal for writing thesis. It will be quite useful to write academic language, because many times many of us are working in corporate and we do not have flair for academic writing. You do have domain knowledge, you are expert into your domain, but so you write your paragraph into your thesis, your own words, and ask PaperPal to convert into academic writing, and it will convert into academic writing. Right, you use some papers, but then you run into a software called Turnitin, it shows you plagiarism. Then you ask PaperPal, it will do the paraphrasing for you. It will rewrite, right? Right. So next challenge is that you will be facing is that the Turnitin and other tool will also detect that this tool is written by the paragraph is written by AI, right? So again, there are other tools which are available, which is not in the purview of discussion today. That tool will also be useful to you to remove that AI part from your writing, right? But that will be the next once you are done with this tool. So the last summary is like, what is risk with the AI is opaque algorithm. Opaque algorithm means like you write a search in Google, say for example, keyword, and you come with the result. You do not know the exact algorithm of Google, that how Google prioritize the search, right? People who are working, professionals who are working in SEO, they are trying to guess that what is the algorithm. So they are trying to crack so that their page will become number one on Google search engine. But the algorithm is opaque, and that's why the same keyword you give to the Elicit, Perplexity, or Semantic Scholar, it will fetch you different result. So you find out which tool is more useful to you in your context of research. Bias in training data, right? How, because your previous search will also affect the AI, right? And AI's own database is also affecting the search results. And over dependence on automation tool, because ultimately AI will not be able to replace our thinking and our curiosity. What is our research quest? Why I am doing research? Right, so whatever you are doing research, check with your domain knowledge. Say for example, you are a healthcare expert, you are expert into sanitary operation, you are expert into computer science, whatever your expertise, you read what AI is suggesting to you. So in AI integration with which will start with proposal stage, then literature review, then AI ensures efficiency, and that last stage will be the publication, right? So at every stage, AI tool will be useful, right? So key takeaway of today's session, if I may summarize, that SLR remain the backbone of scholarly inquiry. AI enhances the speed, structure, and scalability of SLR. Researcher must blend technological tools with academic rigor, and the future literature review is human plus AI collaboration. So thank you very much, and let us connect. This is my LinkedIn ID. So if you would like to connect with me offline, we can connect, and happy learning and happy researching to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Padiya, for a very insightful talk. Uh, AMA has started research forum 2 months back. So this is a new initiative by Ahmedabad Management Association. So we are collecting little bit of flavor to our all programs. Like we do, diploma programs, MDP programs. We also do export import program. So research forum. So if you wish to highlight your research, you are most welcome. We are also launching research forum newsletter. So in case if you are interested to write something on research, particularly your industry, you are most welcome. You can send articles on our website, email address. We will, happy to publish it. Now our second guest is Dr. Jignyasa Gandhi. Her research is into computer science and PhD from VNIT Nagpur, and she is specializing in medical image processing, deep learning and artificial intelligence. Currently she is practicing in the industry, having experience in academia. Ma'am, I would like to invite you to start the stage. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, Deepak Bhai, and thank you, AMA, for giving me this opportunity. Good evening to everyone. Hello, sab yahi hai na? Yes. So I have given this topic from chaos to clarity. Now, why this topic? Because when I was pursuing PhD, my guide said that you have to collect 200 papers for writing a literature review paper. Right? So I collected those papers, but then that created the chaos. How to synthesize now those 200 papers, right? Because collect to kar lenge, kahin na kahin search मार के, right? PDFs तो download कर ही लेंगे, right? अब उसके बाद डालना कैसे है literature में? So it took me 8 months to write a literature review paper, and after 5 revisions, I submitted that paper. And it took 15 months to give me first decision on that paper. And again, it was taken for the revision, and finally it got accepted and got published. So basically, I have done my PhD in engineering side, so maybe my examples will be biased towards engineering, right? So first we'll be seeing summarization versus synthesization, right? So you can see the example of summarization. So I'm also reviewer in few journals. So I see literature review like this, right? Many of them write like this only. But this is not expected in literature review. So anyone, what do you mean by review? Yes? No, basic review. Movie ka review bhi chalega. Okay. Yes? Yes. You are a little bit closer to it. So suppose if I say that there is a review of Bahubali movie. Finally, Bahubali killed Bhallal Dev. Have you seen such reviews like this? No. Reviews kaise hote hain? A good fantasy picture with good beautic scenic, mesmerizing scenic pictures, good action like this, right? So what is required? Review means you need an experience over there. कोई भी प्रोडक्ट आपने ऑनलाइन खरीदा, आप क्या लिखते हो रिव्यू में? You write your experience over there. Good product in reasonable rate, right? You don't write anything from that product. Bottle पे या जिस पर लिखा उस पर से देख के आप नहीं लिखते हो, right? Same thing is not expected in literature review. When you are writing a review paper, or in paper you are writing literature review, right? So what we require is synthesis. Now same summarization को synthesis form में लिखा है, right? So what we have done in this, whenever you are starting a paragraph, there should be 1 or 2 introductory statement about it. Then start with it कि author ने क्या बोला है, right? When you are writing what author has given summary on it, then write about your insight on it, right? So what we have done in this, we have break this summarization into steps, okay? So this should be the format of synthesis. First, introductory opening statement, right? You will never start a paragraph, this author ETEL has said this or introduced this or discover this, right? Write 1 or 2 introductory statement about it. Then you can give the summary of paper, then your insight on that summary. That is also very important. You will not just write about what this author has said. You should be giving your insight on it, right? So if I see this example is about the social media impact on the sleep of teenagers. So you can see how it has been started. Excess social media use has been found negatively impact teenagers' sleep duration and quality. So from the first statement, you come to know what this paragraph is about, right? Then give the summarization, and then you can give your insight, right? And then start with the next author or next researcher. So like this, this should be the format of synthesis. Now, what is synthesis? So that is going beyond just summarization. सिर्फ summary नहीं लिखेंगे हम, right? हमारा insight होना चाहिए. So you can use AI tools for searching the papers, but when you are in research, right, you have to read the paper. सिर्फ paper लिखने के लिए तो चल जाएगा, but research जब करना है तो paper पढ़ना पड़ेगा, right? सिर्फ AI से नहीं होगा. So we basically believe that in engineering, because we have to implement something innovative. We just cannot give our PhD thesis based on some studies or surveys like this. So we have to implement, and that's why we have to read each paper, what methodologies, what algorithms that researchers has implemented, and why that only. So that's why you have to study all these things, right? And bringing together information from different sources into cohesive narrative. In many papers, when I do review, I have seen एक ही पैराग्राफ में 3-4 चीजें डाल देंगे, right? You cannot go like this. If you are talking about something, वो थीम को पकड़ के रखो, वो पैराग्राफ में उन्हीं ऑथर्स का होना चाहिए, right? So you must synthesize like that कि उस पैराग्राफ में सब कुछ मिक्स नहीं हो रहा है. Then synthesize is the heart of literature review. So key goal is identifying the patterns in your papers, revealing insights, and spot research gap. Then that it is about the critical thinking. So you have to connect and interpret findings for the deeper understanding, and transforming data to answer questions and close gaps. Now, whenever you are doing literature review, you have to follow some questions and find the answers for that questions. So I have included some questions in this. So first question is, which things are broadly agreed upon within the current research, right? So in this, if I talk about global warming, right? So broadly, all the researchers agreed upon it that global warming is causing ice melt, right? It is causing climate change. So these are the factors which are globally accepted. So globally, all the researchers and authors are getting agreed on it, right? Second question is, where do the disagreements lie? Disagreement doesn't mean that they are completely denying it, but it may happen that some of them are saying that vehicle emission is causing global warming, but some of them deny that just by vehicle emission it is not causing the global warming. So like this, you have to collect all the things which are not highly, which are disagreed or which are not highly recommended or accepted. Third point is, which key theories seem to be used over and over? Now, key theory means which are the most common theories which are being used. So if I talk about global warming, so global greenhouse effect theory is mostly used in that. So what they are doing is this, they are all time calculating carbon dioxide emission level. So that is common thing whenever you are talking about global warming. You will be always calculating CO2 level wherever you are going. So whichever key theories are most common, you have to collect over there. You have to see which are most common in that. Then what context have and haven't been covered by the existing research. Now this point will give you gap in the research, right? So now it may happen that there are many researchers which are focusing on that from urbanization global warming is causing, from industrial emission global warming is going on, but no one has focused on rural areas. So there may be some reasons from rural areas also which are causing global warming, right? So like that, you have to find where the context has not been covered over there. which methodological approaches are most common. So whenever some researches have been done and you have to implement something, so you have to research on that, which methods they have used, which algorithms they have used. So you need to keep the track of it. Now, these are some of the methods of manual synthesis. First one is thematic analysis. So in this, identifying recurring themes across studies. So if you have started with some broad topic, suppose I talk about AI in healthcare, right? When you put these keywords, AI in healthcare, it is very broad domain. Now in that you have to identify the themes. AI is used in diagnostics. AI is used in predicting diseases, right? AI is nowadays used for the analysis part also, robotic surgery. So now there are different themes in that. So in thematic analysis, you will be going and finding the themes in it. Second is conceptual mapping. In this, you will be visualizing the relationships between the concepts. Then integrative frameworks. So in this, some framework is defined. So for example, if I say that someone is doing research on building earthquake resistant building, right? So now in this, there is some framework that पिलर में क्या होना चाहिए, फाउंडेशन में क्या होना चाहिए. सो वो फ्रेमवर्क में आपको सबके लिए आपको लिखना पड़ेगा. यू कैन नॉट जस्ट से नैनो मटेरियल्स यूज करके हम अर्थक्वेक रेजिस्टेंट बिल्डिंग बना लेंगे, राइट? सो इन दैट यू हैव टू फॉलो सम फ्रेमवर्क्स. In marketing also, when you are evaluating something about the consumer buying pattern or something, in that also you have to follow some frameworks. So in that you will be using integrative frameworks. So in this thematic analysis, we have first step is identifying key themes and patterns. So in this, I have just divided that into critical reading and highlighting recurring concepts. So in this, we have taken the example of impact of social media on mental health of teenagers. So in this, second step will be whenever you are having your papers, you will be creating your literature matrix. जितने पेपर्स रीड करते जा रहे हो उसके मैट्रिक्स में एंट्री करते जाओ, व्हाट यू हैव सीन इन दैट. सो you can again refer that whenever you require more details on it, right? Second is conceptual mapping. Conceptual mapping में जो है आप क्या करोगे, you will be creating the diagram like this. Now in this main क्या है हमारा research focus, that is impact of social media on teenagers. When you search for the papers, you will get both positive impact and negative impact. So whatever you are getting in that positive impacts and negative impacts, you will be writing down in the diagram format and how it is connected. So like this, you can have some other topics also, but you will be forming this diagram. Now in addition to this diagram, what you can do is, हमने जो literature matrix बनाया है, in that you can give serial numbers. And those serial numbers can be written on those notes. So whenever you are writing it down, आपको सीधा पेपर मिल जाएगा उसमें से, डायग्राम में से ही. And from this, what you can do is, you can write your literature review कि कौन से थीम में कौन से पैराग्राफ में डालना है, right? You will not mix it up in this. Next is, this is example of integrative framework. So this framework is for the impulse buying of the customers. So they take into account all these things, that is consumer related factors, social demographic factors, marketing mix, so related factors. So all these factors should be included. So in this, you are using predefined framework for this, right? Now structuring your literature review. Data collect कर लिया हमने, synthesis शुरू कर दिया. Now when you have to structure it, so it will depend upon that what is your research topic. So you can use any one from these four. First one is chronological approach. Chronological approach means you will be writing with respect to time. So now if your research is कि आप कोई नया computer device invent कर रहे हो, so for that purpose you require कि पहले से कौन से computer कौन से time पे आए हैं, right? So you will be writing 1930 mein first computer was this, then this, then this. Now we are going to propose this, right? So in literature review, you require chronological approach. right? Next is theoretical approach. Theoretical approach means you are following some theoretical algorithms. So if I give the example, if you are doing some research in cryptography or blockchain, right? So in that you have to give some innovation in the algorithms. So those algorithms are based on mathematical theorems, right? So in that you will have to give the references of the mathematical theorems. So that will go with the theoretical approach, right? Next is methodological approach. Now, in some cases, there are different methods which are used for the same process. So if I talk about object detection over here in computer vision, so you can see that there are cameras and they can detect the objects in it. Initially, traditional methods were used, which was using machine learning. Then deep learning is used for that. Nowadays, more advanced algorithms are used for that. So now what you will be doing is you will be giving it method-wise. So traditionally this was used, nowadays this is used step-wise in methodological approach, right? Next is thematic approach. So as I said about this, that thematic means whatever themes are included, it will be according to that themes over here. Now, information synthesis. In this also, you can use any one of this. In some research topic, you have to give the comparative analysis. However, this is not applicable to all the literature reviews, but in some topics, you can give comparative analysis. So as I give you the example over here of the machine learning algorithms, deep learning algorithms, artificial intelligence algorithms. So like this, you can give the comparative analysis that what is the pros and cons of those algorithms. So if suppose I talk in machine learning, you don't require a huge data. But in deep learning for training, you require a huge data for that. So like this, you will be giving the comparative analysis for it. Next is integration. In some of the studies, you have to integrate many findings. So suppose I talk about renewable source of energy. So start हमने अगर suppose उसको अभी जो है हमारा एडवांस वर्जन चल रहा है, अगर हम स्टार्ट करें उसको विंड एनर्जी से, hydroelectric energy say. So in that you have to integrate all the findings and then you have to propose new renewable source of energy. So that is integration. Critical reflection. In some studies, you have to give the critical reflection of the what can be predicted in that. So suppose I talk about autonomous driving vehicles. So what are the advantages? What can be the impact if it is brought on the Indian roads? Right? So because we don't have lanes like foreign countries, कोई भी गली में से कोई भी आ जाता है, यहाँ तो जो है आपका wrong zone में भी चला जाता है. So in that phase, autonomous vehicles का impact क्या होगा? So you have to give that critical reflection also on that. Now crafting deep and insightful summaries. When you are giving summaries, summaries should be concise. एक ही स्टेटमेंट को 2-3 बार घुमा के नहीं लिखेंगे, राइट? एक स्टेटमेंट कंसाइज लिखो, बट यू शुड नॉट मिस क्रिटिकल पॉइंट्स ऑन इट, राइट? जो भी क्रिटिकल पॉइंट्स है दैट शुड बी इंक्लूडेड, बट इट दे शुड नॉट बी रिपीटेटिव, बिकॉज रिव्यूअर्स के फिर कमेंट वैसे आएंगे, रिपीटेटिव स्टेटमेंट फाउंड इन द लिटरेचर रिव्यू, राइट? नेक्स्ट इज डेप्थ. नाउ इफ यू आर क्लेमिंग समथिंग which is not there, then you have to give the depth of it. Suppose in some research you have seen that graphene can increase the efficiency of solar panel. Now why graphene chemical only? You have to give the depth of this. सिर्फ आप लिख के छोड़ दोगे वैसा नहीं चलेगा कि ये ऑथर ने बोला है, but why graphene only? Why not some other chemical? So you have to give the depth also. Balanced view. In some studies, there are both the parts, right? Some agree to it, some don't agree to it. तो उसमें आपको balance देना पड़ेगा, balance view, दोनों को consider करके. So if I talk about कि internet usages among the students, so it is used for good purpose also. कोविड में एजुकेशन के लिए भी इंटरनेट यूज हुआ है, मोबाइल ऐप्स वगैरह जो है वो रहे हैं, बट देन डिसएडवांटेज में टाइम इज गेटिंग वेस्टेड, राइट? स्टूडेंट्स जो है सोशल मीडिया वगैरह पे टाइम ज़्यादा स्पेंड कर रहे हैं. सो यू हैव टू गिव बोथ एंड यू हैव टू गिव द बैलेंस व्यू ओवर देयर, राइट? ओरिजिनल एनालिसिस. So in sometimes you have to do also analysis and you have to give the original analysis of it. So sometimes in literature review, what you can do is you can give the graph, bar graphs or pie graphs on it, that these many authors have used this methodology or they have given this insight on it. So like this, you can give the original analysis on it. So like if I say that my was in the medical image processing. So if I say that 50% of the researchers have said that they have used the machine learning algorithms. 20% have used the deep learning algorithm. So like this, you can give the original analysis on it. These are some of the AI tools used in literature review. But what I suggest, if you are going for research, then I think you have to do detailed analysis of it. But yes, for your help, you can use AI tools for it. So if you need any guide for the writing the literature review, this is my book. And if you are interested, it is available on Amazon and Flipkart. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Gandhi. Now, floor is open for questions. Yes, Vedant.
Very critical role of supervisor. In a sense, like the tool is available to you nowadays. But as Madam has rightly said, it is the process, right? So first thing is that a PhD student is new to the literature review. It's imperative on PhD supervisor to guide him or her, whomsoever is a student. And secondly, once the student has come out with some findings using AI tools, it is more on supervisor's part to identify again critical question, so that again student can go to the drawing board and ask the relevant question to AI, right? So being a supervisor, I'll not say that I'll not suggest my student not to use, I'll not suggest my student not to use AI, but I'll train my student what kind of relevant question to be asked to AI, so that AI can work for the students. I think researcher must have some questions. So we could have, so please feel free.
My question for the two of you is related to how good do you think the AI tools and search engines are when it comes to non-English literature and sources. I'll give you two examples. One is related to, let's say if you were doing research on what it was like for a Gujarati citizen pre-independence in the 30s and 40s. And you wish to initiate a search on this. The other side, on the scientific side, is to look at some of the history of, let's say, astronomy or astronomical concepts. Most of the Western literature happily will leave out the Indian precedents, for example, and believe that all of this started with the Greeks. So what is your experience so far as you played with these tools in terms of what the tools themselves are limited by the corpus or the training that they have done?
I think there are certain limitations of AI tools, because many a times it happens that when we use for some coding work or for some research work, we have to verify it. So if we are searching for the data which is of 30s and 40s, 1930s and 40s, I think whether it is available or not, and if that data is not available digitally, then I think you will not get the proper answer for it, because AI are trained on language models. So whatever is available, they can give results on that only. So always whenever you are using AI tools, you need to verify it once. You just cannot rely on AI for that.
I would like to add here, like, so in your case, like, or in this particular kind of case, when the data is not available, say for example, most of the data is available in English. So if it's available in vernacular language, it may not be available online repositories. So it will be very difficult for us to search at search stage. But say for example, you referred to the local libraries and you find out, then you have made your own notes, or the content is available in vernacular language, then we can use translation software. Once we translate those data for qualitative research, even for quantitative research, we can upload this data in our tools. So it will ease our task of summarization and synthesis later on. So it will be the blend of human eyes as well as AI. But in that case, there will be more hard work.
We can use all of these AI tools, but will it be ethical, or will we be asked in our RDCs whether we have used these tools, and are we allowed to do so?
Problem is not with the RDC. You can use AI tools, but in some journals, they say that if you have used AI tools, so they check for the plagiarism. So now in that plagiarism, if you have written complete paper with AI tools, it will get caught over there. So then paper will be get rejected over there. So that's the disadvantage. You have to give some touch to it. You cannot just directly write everything from AI tools.
Absolutely. We do have some tools which humanize the AI language.
Yes.
I'm not propagating that we should do it, but I'm just saying what all things we will face when we use all these things.
No, not facing like that. You can use AI tools because it is for our help only. But I think it can be used for as an help, but not completely for that. Because I have seen some students, because I was in academia, so they use completely, recently I have one intern. She was doing internship with my company and we had some AI ML project. So when report has to be submitted to college, so I told her that you have to show me first. Complete report was written by ChatGPT and things which we have not done in our research work, complete everything was written in that. So I made her to change that because you cannot write everything which you have not even done. And everything was from ChatGPT.
Thank you.
So in addition to what I would like to say is that at present time, the journals, academic institute, research institute are also evolving their policies with respect to how to deal with AI content. So meanwhile, my suggestion is that whenever you use AI in your research work, attribute the credit to AI that this particular tool I used for this particular purpose. Eventually, use of AI, in my humble opinion, it will be the established norm. But how well you are using, as Madam has rightly said, you can't write your entire paper based on AI. Like AI can generate paper for you, but you use AI with your judicious human intervention and mention as and when you have used. Like say for example, earlier we had this tool called SPSS, right? So at present, you may not be knowing the formula of chi-square test and other, but you have used it. Then you attribute that, okay, I've carried out this test on SPSS. That is established, right? And it is accepted. But yes, you know the process that why you have used that particular test. What was your hypothesis? Whether your variable was relevant or not. So same case will be applicable in use of AI as well. And sir, on your question regarding the language, I would like to add one more example which I have recently come across. So I had a script of Samudra Manthan in Hindi language. So entire theme was so I wanted to make a PPT out of it. So I was skeptical that AI tool will not be able to make PPT for me. And I was using a tool called Napkin AI for making my PPT. So I copy pasted the Hindi script in Napkin AI has translated itself and identified the relevant title for it and the relevant subtopic. And for Samudra Manthan, also Napkin AI has searched and given me icon which they have represented, like the icon for the angels, icon for the devils, and everything like Samudra Manthan icon. I was amazed that how they are doing it. So yes, language part is also eventually will take care by the AI, and meanwhile we'll have to convert all our tacit knowledge into explicit knowledge. What I mean by it is that whatever we have knowledge in terms of hard copies, more and more repositories in terms of soft copy will be available, then task will be easy for the future researchers.
Good evening, sir and ma'am. I am a school student, so my question is, why don't the school teachers or even the computer teachers does not tell about this AI tools for using in the literatures and for the study purpose?
Because what happens actually nowadays, even our families, we see students are using AI tools. So for doing their homework also, they are using AI tool or ChatGPT. But what is happening basically is you are in school age, right? So your whatever development happens, that happens in that age. So if you are not developing at that age, it will become very difficult when you are going afterwards, right? Because that should be developed at that moment only. Because nowadays I have seen some students, they are just using mobile or calculators only. So even if you ask them 8th table or 9th table, they are not able to give you answer. So this should not happen. That with artificial intelligence, your intelligence should not be depleted, right? So that's why maybe in school they are not allowing AI tools.
Okay, I would like to add on lighter sides. The teachers are afraid of losing their job. That's why they are not telling you. So,
Thank you, sir.
but
Thank you,
I
ma'am.
would like to give another answer on it. Like what has happened is, like Madam has rightly identified, is that using calculator, we have lost our arithmetic ability today. Similarly, extensive use of AI will also restrict our lateral thinking ability, and we should not do that. Like say for example, if you are going into school because of competitive environment, you may not pay attention to the sports. You are more into study. Yeah. This is the hypothetical case. In that case, you will not be able to develop your physical ability. But extensively, when you use AI even for research purpose, you ask tool to synthesize for you, it will synthesize for you. But in the process, you will lose your ability of thinking, ability to review, right? And it's for our own benefit that we should think on the different situations. So it's better at early stage you don't use AI rather than you learn in hard way. That's why the teachers are not telling you.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Hello. My question is to ma'am that sometimes when we do research, especially me, I'm doing IMBA, and it becomes very difficult for me to analyze that what is actually gap of the study and what is the limitation. So it becomes very difficult. Sometimes your gap is actually, I think it is a limitation. So how do you differentiate in between them?
It can be experimental. Sometimes it happens that it is the limitation. But when you go through literature review, many a times it will happen that if it is a limitation, then it is described in paper that this cannot be happen or this is not possible. That becomes the limitation. But nowadays it has become that there can be some solutions. So it becomes the research part that you give some innovative solution. So it becomes that experimental part. So many a times, if I talk about 5 years back, who was knowing that AI will be doing this much things? So at that time, someone thought that this is the limitation. This cannot happen.
Yeah.
But some has given solutions. So now we are using AI tools, right?
True. Thank you.
My question is to ma'am. Just because of you are to relate to computer science and engineering. My question is, in our field, we have to be covered all the context is. I am researching onto the fraud detections. For that, I have to cover the image, audio, video, symbols, and all the kind of the things. So how can we able to categorize where we have to go and where we have to deep research on the one context, or we have to be discover all the contexts whatever are there to identify the fraud news and all? So how can we able to categorize if we able to like discover all the things, or we have to be discover like or to something one thing?
Yes, you are talking about very broad topic, that is fraud detection. Yes. But then you have to concise your domain in which fraud you are talking about. So sometimes in some researchers, what they are doing is they are taking data of banks and everything, and then they are doing. So if you will see the papers also related to that, it will not be having all the things in one paper. Yes. Right? So you have to also concise your domain in which you want to work. Right? So if you go through papers, so you'll come to know that many researches has been done using data. So now you can go for the images and videos, but you have to start with it whether data is available for it or not. Yes. So first thing will be you have to find the data set.
It is a very big task.
So database is available, then you can go with it. Then again start researching papers on it. So you'll get the idea that what research has been done and what is the gap in between. So someone has said that you are getting 80% accuracy on it, right? So whether you can improve more accuracy by using some other algorithms, or you can add some other functionality, or whether you can detect something else also from that data. So then you have to go step by step like this.
Thank you.
I have one question for Dr. Padiya. Recently, I came across a news that Columbia University has collaborated with ChatGPT, OpenAI, officially, and they have secured 5 lakhs ChatGPT accounts for their students, faculties, research scholars, and doctoral students. So it's a customized platform for Columbia University, faculty members, and students. And now they are using this AI tool to explore research, and they have already submitted 180 patents based on using ChatGPT. So I just want to know, sir, what is the future of research considering the AI tool, looking at this example? And in Ahmedabad also, I have seen, some of the university hoardings that, our campus is AI powered, AI powered campus basically. So do you think we are in a, time of AI based people? Yeah.
Yes, like we are at right threshold of rise of AI. You ask anyone like your faculty friends, those people who have submitted their thesis in 2024, they haven't used AI for their literature review. But the one who is going to submit in 25, 26, they are going to use AI for their literature review. Now, collaboration of research into AI is like AI is quite a facilitating tool. Like say for example, we belongs to India. English is our not native language. It's our second language. And sometimes you are good at research. It means you write question, you write domain knowledge, but you are unable to write. There is writer's block also happens sometime. Like in my thesis, for days will go like I'll not write single paragraph. And I'll say that, okay, I need to submit 260-page thesis every day. If I write 2 pages, I'll submit in 130 days. Things will not work like this. But if you have AI as a tool, it will enable many people who are good researcher that how to write, how to synthesize the research. Like as madam has explained these steps, right? Now you understand these particular steps very well. You ask the relevant question to the AI, it will make your task easy in terms of those tasks which earlier used to complete with after 3 months, now you can complete in 1 week because you do a lot of iteration. So AI is going to be there. Rightly, many universities in India will also take lead, and then there will be campus specific AI also. Like today what happened is that different universities subscribe to different kind of database. Some subscribes to EBSCO, some subscribe to IEEE and so many other databases. But in future there will be one integrated pack. Government of India has also subscribed to all journals. It is first in entire world that Government of India has subscribed to all the journals. Then database will be available to all the state and central universities. So yes, there will be customized AI solutions for the students and universities. That is going to happen very soon before we predict and implement.
As we come to the close of this enriching session, I take this opportunity to express my heartfelt thanks to Dr. Jasmin Padiya and Dr. Jignyasa Gandhi. To all our attendees, thank you very much for your active participation and thoughtful questions. It is your engagement that makes this session truly engagement and meaningful. Thank you once again and have a great evening ahead. Thank you, sir.